Well, hello and welcome to another session of Employee Center Academy. It's part of Live on ServiceNow series, and it's always amazing to start my sessions with this a video. And for those of you asking, this video is already available on our Employee Center Community Product Hub. Please feel free to revisit it. This is Smriti Gupta, Outbound Product Manager with Unified Employee Experience team. And this is part of our Employee Center Academy session, which is a live on ServiceNow event. We have done many different Academy sessions. We do it every month, and we have covered um, um, various different topics that you could revisit, like multi-phase deployment strategies, design techniques. We have done one on employee news. Then recently we did one on integrated experience and service feedback. You could see the link on your screens. Please feel free to access all our previous sessions and to have details on the upcoming sessions as well. All of these recordings are also available on YouTube. Some of the ground rules for Academy sessions. These sessions are basically for you to interact. So please use the Q&A panel to post your questions and queries. We have our set of experts as panelists who will be resolving your queries as you post them. And please use the chat panel to post your comments or feedback. Now, this session is recorded, and the recording and the slide deck will be available on community. The SLE is typically 7 to 10 days, so you could keep checking on community after that time period. Today's topic is Unified Employee Profile. While I've already introduced myself, I'm joined by Siddharth Pandey, who is a Senior Principal Product Manager with Unified Employee Experience team and who is the owner of this capability. And most of you have already met Pooja Gupta. She's Senior Manager, Outbound Product Management with Unified Employee Experience team. I'll just pause here to let Sid and Pooja say hi.
Hi, everyone. Great to be part of this session, and please, do ask us questions and provide us more feedback on this employee profile functionality.
Hi everyone, this is Pooja Gupta here. So happy to welcome you on yet another Academy session. So thank you and looking forward to your questions and engagement.
Awesome. So quickly coming on to the agenda, we'll be covering a brief introduction of the Unified Employee Profile and the org chart functionality. Then we have divided the demo of this particular session into two pieces. First, we'll be covering the front-end user experience, and then we'll move on to the admin experience and how to configure all of these awesome functionality that you'll be seeing as part of end user experience. Let's start with the introduction to Unified Employee Profile. So what is Unified Employee Profile? Employee Profile is basically a capability that aggregates an employee's personal and work-related information across different departments or different systems or different tables and displays the consolidated view of that employee information on a single portal page. So an employee's personal and work-related information could be spread across multiple different systems, like their employment details or emergency contacts, pay-related information, PTO balance, learning sessions that they have undertaken, or even what assets have been allocated to them. And organizations can make it easier to track and manage all such information via the employee profile. So employees could easily manage their profiles and personalize it as per their preference. So the user could update their profile photo or background banner, or they could update their preferred pronouns or control what pieces of information should be visible to which audiences. Additionally, employee profile feature makes it easier for the users to find and engage with their co-workers. So they could access the public profiles of their peers or work colleagues and connect with them easily by initiating a Teams chat or sending an email and so on. And then there's more to employee profile than that. With the predictive intelligence license, you could make use of the machine learning driven content recommendations, which basically recommends relevant resources that other users with similar profiles are accessing. Now, a little bit of context here. So we released this enhanced employee profile capability with our San Diego release. So around February 2022 release. So yeah, it's been a while since then. And we have continued investing in this feature by shipping enhancements for it over multiple releases. So in terms of availability, it is available to all customers. There's no license required for this unified employee profile capability. And we'll talk about the licensing requirements in depth later on for some of the other related capabilities that we are talking about. So please hold all your questions on that for some time. And basically highlighting what employee profile means through this screenshot here. So we have the employee profile screenshot for Beth. So you could see her uh, you could see her name here, her title, her image, her background image, and you could see all the information, all her personal and work related information organized in various profile tabs. So there are multiple profile tabs, and we'll walk through it in the live demo also, but just setting some context here. And then we have the actions here you could configure, such as send emails or call or view walk chart. Right. So if you're looking to transform your portal into a more personalized employee experience platform, employee profile is a feature that you should invest in. Now, a very related capability is organization chart, which displays the organizational hierarchies for the employees. This enhanced org chart functionality is accessible via the Employee Center Pro license. And we previously had the org chart functionality as part of our content publishing application. But with our San Diego release, we upgraded the org chart experience to offer a more modern UI and advanced configuration options. And as part of the enhanced UI, we have a focus card in the center, like it's visible in the screenshot, for the selected employee that highlights that employee's important information like name, title, profile, photo, and other details. And the hierarchies display manager and direct reports and all the dotted line relationships, such as indirect manager or other manager and indirect reports for the employee. The card in focus can be configured to prompt for relevant actions, just like in employee profile we have seen. You could view profile, click on the view profile action or call or email, and it's very similar to what we talked about in the employee profile feature. Then we have a search option within the organization chart that can search for organizational hierarchy of any defined employee. Um, and admins could configure what information should be displayed on the card here, or they could configure the actions for these cards. Now, a lot of these details would be clear once we move on to the live demo. So I'll just move forward. Now, talking about the business use cases or the benefits that employee profile serves. It basically serves for three major use cases. The first is providing a consolidated view to me as an employee of all my personal and work related information. So I could track all my personal details or employment details or career related details at this place. And if required, request for edits there itself. Right. I won't have to look for a separate place to make those requests. I can do it within employee profile tab itself. Second, this is essential for driving effective peer-to-peer collaborations. So we work in global organizations, and reaching out to your co-workers can be tricky sometimes with some of them sitting across the globes. So as an employee, I could literally use the profile search that is accessible via the AI search to look for any of my co-workers and check their public profile and org chart, and I could check their work location and availability on Microsoft Teams. And if required, I could reach out to them with just a click of a button. Now, the third use case is driving personalization. So it could be user-driven personalization, which allows employees to personalize their profile as per their preference, like their profile image or background banner or short bio, nicknames, or even preferred pronouns. Also, employees could choose which information from their profile would they like to display publicly or to a limited audience. Then we can drive a system-based personalization that focuses on machine learning-driven content recommendations. Like I've already said, it recommends relevant resources that other users with similar profiles are accessing. This ML-driven content recommendation is only available with the predictive intelligence licenses. While we are still on the topic of licenses, let me deep dive into the employee profile capability and all its related features from licensing perspective. And this slide could also actually act as a summary of all the different features that we just spoke about, right? So when we talk about the employee profile table and all the UI elements like the profile tabs and all the information displayed, this is available to all customers, whether it's Employee Center or EC Pro license, right? So it's available for everyone. Then we have the org chart functionality. Org chart is only available for EC Pro licenses. Then we have the dotted line relationships that could configure the dotted line manager or dotted line reports, right? This is only available with the EC Pro licenses, and the people search that is available via AI search. So you could click on the search widget on your homepage to search for or look for any of the defined employees within your organization. This requires actually AI search to be enabled, and it is available with EC Pro only. Then we talked about the machine learning based content recommendations that recommends content based on similar profiles. So it requires predictive intelligence license that is typically available through ITSM Pro or HRSD Pro licenses only, right? Then we have the HRSD profile widgets, or the option to um, configure additional widgets based on HCM integrations, right? So it requires HRSD Pro or enterprise licenses. Then we could also configure EGD profile widgets for displaying career-related information or widgets, which again requires employee growth and development license. So I'll just pause here. Sid, Pooja, is there anything you want to call out here or probably answer from the Q&A panel?
No, I think this is good. I didn't see any questions on licensing. One thing more, there was a question around Microsoft 365 integrations and what will be visible on the profile. Um, so one, there is no additional license required from a profile or employee center perspective. So if you are using the Microsoft Teams integration, you will be able to see presence on the profile page. So like, if someone is marked available or do not disturb. And at the same time, you can also invoke certain actions like start a Teams message directly from the profile page. Both need configuration, but don't require any additional license.
Awesome. Moving on. So, as we talk about employee profile, it becomes critical to highlight how this is different from the other tables that we already had in place within ServiceNow ecosystem, like user table or HR profile table. So user profile table, it essentially contains basic user information about all the internal and external users within ServiceNow ecosystem who may be accessing various other applications. So if you're accessing any of these ServiceNow applications, you'll need to have a record in this is user table that includes basic information like roles or permissions for the user and so on. Then the HR table, it contains confidential HR specific information for the employees. And this is typically only relevant for organizations who have HR core installed and need to access HR specific use cases within ServiceNow. Employee profile table, on the other hand, consolidates information from all these different sources to display all the personal information or work-related information across different departments. It can be synced with both HR profile table and user profile table. So it could be used to access HR-specific information from HR profile table, like employment details, right? And it could also incorporate some of the additional fields like your line relationships or the short bio of the user or the pronouns of the user. While we have talked about these different tables, it's important to understand how the data is synced between these tables. So first use case is if you have both HR core and employee profile installed, you'll have access to both these tables, employee profile and HR profile. And there will be a certain set of fields which will be common across both these tables, such as employment start date, end date, the work location, work mobile phone, and so on. So all the common fields, they would not be editable in the employee profile table. If you need to make edits in all these fields, you would be able to make the edits only via the HR profile table. And once you have made the edits in the HR profile table, we sync the data backwards from HR profile table to employee profile. So all the modified data would be visible on the employee profile table, right? And if any fields that are not common, so fields like bio or pronouns or even the profile image, these fields are only available in the employee profile table, and thereby they are editable in the employee profile table even if you have HR core installed, right? But we do not sync all these changes. If you have made modifications to any of these editable fields, we do not sync those changes to HR profile table or any of the integrated HCM, right? And if you only have employee profile and you do not have HR core installed, there's nothing you need to worry about. All the fields are editable by the admin, and there's no sync required. Right. I'll just pause here for some questions before we move on to the end user experience.
Can you go back to the slide on the sync? So just want to make sure people are understanding. So the data is synced between all these tables, so it's consistent data. So if an update happens in your SCM system, hopefully you have an integration to bring that update in HR profile, and that will be updated in employee profile. And you cannot update those fields in employee profile. So the data is consistent across. So just want to highlight that. Apart from that, I think we are good with Q&A and we can proceed.
All right. So let's move on to the end user experience for employee profile and the org chart. I am not gonna dwell much into the slides here. I'll just move on to the live instance. So I hope Pooja, my instance is visible.
Yeah, but we see your screen a little like zoomed out because there's a hamburger work menu that is showing up.
Yeah, let me just
That's okay. If you want to anyway move to profile, you can kind of move from there.
yeah.
But yeah.
So let me just move on to the employee profile. Let's consider a scenario. I am Emily. I am the customer success manager within the customer success function, and I am filling out a benefits form for which I need to access my employee number, right? So I move on to my employee profile, and I see this is my employee profile. I've already like personalized it beautifully. I have a background banner that I can change anytime also, or I have the profile image here. Even this I can edit anytime, and I can see my name, I can see my title, I can see my status as would be seen on Microsoft Teams. So my organization has configured or Microsoft Teams or integrated that Microsoft Teams with my employee profile, and my current status on Microsoft Teams would be reflected on my employee profile here. Then I have various profile tabs configured here. The first tab is the overview tab that gives the details of all my personal information and some of my work related information as well. So I could see the title, my manager, email, location, and so on. I could see my bio, I could edit my bio, I could edit my nickname or the preferred pronouns if I wish. Then I could see the personal details. Oh, here is the employee number that I came looking for. So I can reference that. But while I'm already here, let me check out the other details. Like, yeah, I can see my contact details. These are all right. I can see my employment details, like my employment start date. This seems to be about right. Then I can see my contacts, and I have some of my preferences configured here on the preferences widget. So that's that. Then moving on to the career tab, let me just check all the skills that I have and all the learning achievements that I have. So as part of the career tab, if you have the employee growth and development queue, you could configure all the EGD related widgets here to display skills and aspirations, learning achievements, and experience, and so on, right? Yeah, this is all my experience that's listed here. And then let me check what all assets have been allocated to me. So I can see I have my assets widget. These are the assets allocated to me. And yeah, then I can check my PTO balance. I can check my compensation summary, right? And the total rewards that have been allocated to me till now. So all of this has been configured by my organization for me. Let me just check my team as well. So I can like look at my team structure and my co-workers right here. And while I'm here, let me just check the profile for my manager, Maria. I can see she's available on Microsoft Teams. I can connect with her on the click of this button if I want. And then I can see her overview, right? I can see her bio. And then I have certain other tabs that I can access for her if I wish. For now, I'm just gonna move on to her org chart, right? So I have the org chart for Maria Davis, who all are people are reporting to her. And while I'm here, I now remember that I had to collaborate with Beth for one of my assignments. Let me just look at Beth. So I can see I have typed for Beth on the universal search. That's the AI search, and I can see the results for Beth here, right? So once I click on any of these results, I can see the public profile for Beth as well. So I can see she's the CTO, she reports to Joanna. I have the email right here. I can click on the org chart to see the organization hierarchy of Beth. And while I am checking the organization hierarchy of Beth, I can see that she has 9 people reporting to her in total. 5 of them are direct reports and 4 others are indirect reports, right? And I can see she reports to Joanna directly, but indirectly, she has one of the other managers that she's reporting to, right? And then I have all the actions configured here, so I could view her profile or send an email to her or call her, right? So I have all those features configured. Um, this is it from the end user experience. And while we have covered a lot of things, I would like to just end this with a caveat that a lot of the features that I've been showing on this instance here, these are um, this is one of our demo instance, and it displays art of the possible for all the widgets, right? So some of it are from some of these widgets or data or information is from our EGDs queue, and some others are configured widgets, right? So this is just to provide an idea of how you could utilize employee profile within your organization.
Smriti, let's pause here and just give people a little bit more idea of what is out of box. So, everything that you see in the overview here is currently out of box. Like, like first of all, the UI functionality, the look and feel, you can configure additional tabs. Everything here is that configurability is out of box. The careers tab comes from employee growth and development license. So if you have subscribed to our employee growth and development license, you would see skills, aspirations, be able to add your learning achievements. All of these things that are over here are available through our employee growth and development. If you move to work items, um, my delegates is something that you can typically do it within ServiceNow out of box. My assets, you have this information in ServiceNow, but this particular widget is custom here. So we don't have an out of box widget to showcase my assets. Again, benefits and rewards are all based on existing integrations that we have with Integration Hub. So you would, especially if you are licensed with HRSD Pro and Enterprise, you can leverage those integrations and bring this information over here. So this is giving you an idea of what profile could look like and how you can literally create that one-stop shop for Emily to access all her information without having to go into multiple different systems. Hopefully that clarifies this portion over here. And I believe in the org chart, Smriti, if you would just go on that one, it is just go on org chart. Yeah, everything that you see over here is out of box. So you can configure what information is available of like regarding Beth. You can configure what action items. Right now, in this instance, we have view profile. I think the 3 dots will give you additional action items. So you can configure all of that to be visible over here. And this is all out of box.
Awesome. If we don't have any other comments to call out, we'll just move on to the end user or admin experience, right? So when we talk about the admin experience, all of the awesome features or capabilities that we have just seen with the end user experience, as an admin user, you need to undertake a few steps to configure your employee profile from scratch. right? So the first step is obviously having the updated employee profile plugin installed. And then the first step is creating an active employee definition. So there may be multiple, like we have already discussed, there may be multiple users or stakeholders within your ServiceNow ecosystem, and you might want to define what an active employee means for your organization, right? So you could use the conditional headers to define what that active employee definition means, and you could pull in data either from the user profile or the HR profile as per your requirement. Once you've defined the active employee, you need to generate the employee profiles that fall into that criteria, right? And after that, you need to opt into employee profile, right? So employee profile is an opt-in functionality. It is not activated by default on upgrade, and you need to actually check in that box for opt-in to enable the new employee experience, right? The next step is configuring the profile headers or about me section and the default background. So as an admin, the header experience that we have just seen for the employee profile, that is configurable. You could define what primary or secondary information needs to be shown in the header, along with the availability status. So the Microsoft Teams availability status, you can configure that to be shown or not, right? Then we could, as an admin, we could configure the default banner that would be displayed for all the users if they have not personalized their banner image. And on the About Me section, you could actually configure what all fields you want to make visible, or you could define what personal information would be displayed along with the visibility of those fields. Then we'll move on to how to configure other work-related information on all the other profile tabs and widgets, and configuring rest of the actions on the profile. Right. So we have seen all the other profile tabs like career, work items, or benefits, rewards, or my teams. You could, as an admin, you could basically display what all work-related information should be displayed on all these profile tabs, and you could configure what all widgets would be showed on all these different tabs. So, for example, we could configure one tab to be career, right? And we could configure all the EGD related widgets to be shown on that particular tab. Or you could configure one of the tab as my work items, and you could configure my assets widget to be configured within that particular tab. And as an admin, you could actually control the visibility of profile information. So you could decide whether the visibility of that particular information would be controlled by the admin, or you would let end users control the visibility of that particular section. So for example, there might be some other confidential information that you would want users to decide if they want to make it available on their public profile or not. So you could do that. And final step is configuring the action group for the employee profile. So like we have seen on employee profile, um, uh, uh, you could actually view the org chart. That is one of the action, or you could reach out to that person via email or via Teams chat, right? So these are some of the actions that you could take on employee profile or even on org chart. And as an admin, you could configure all these different actions for the employee profile via the action group table. Now, the fourth step or the final step here, that is optional step, and it is only valid if your organization defines dotted line relationships for the employees. Now, if you need to define dotted line relationships, you could add the other manager relationships or other reporting relationships to set up the dotted line reporting for an employee, right? Um, we'll understand all these different steps on the instance. So I'll just move on to the instance. Meanwhile, Pooja, is there anything you want to clarify here?
No, I think this will all come into picture when we see it in action. We won't do it live, but we will show you where all of these things are being configured. And Smriti, when you show that, make sure we show the dotted line relationships and where those are being created, because we have
Sure,
a question on that.
sure. So you could see on under there's a application name called employee profile, and under that employee profile, we have a table for employee definition. Um, just a second. Right. So once you click on that employee definition table, you could define what an active employee means for your organization. So I have configured one of the employee definition records here. You could select the table, whether HR profile table or user profile table. You could add the condition which would define as an active employee for your organization. And once you have saved it, you'll see this button, Generate Employee Profiles. You'll need to click on this to generate the employee profiles that are actually active as per this definition. Then once you have generated all the employee profiles that match this definition, they would be visible on this table, employee profiles table here. And once you have done that, you'll need to go to the setup tab here to opt in to the employee profiles functionality. So right now I have already opted in. If not, you'll see a checkbox here. You could just click on that and opt in to this employee profile functionality. Then moving on to the second step, how to configure the header and the overview UI. So header UI is basically so the header UI basically it refers to this banner and this primary information for a particular user, and this is the overview widget that we are talking about in this step, right? So I move on to the header UI configuration table, I can see what all primary user information I need to display. So I could choose the username format here, and I could display the secondary user information. So right now I have configured title, department, and user location to be displayed as the secondary information. Then I can configure that I want to show the Microsoft Teams status on my profile. So I can just click on this show present status here and update the header UI configurations. Then moving on to the overview UI. So uh, it comprises of all the personal information of a employee. So I can configure all a new section here, or I could edit out any of this existing sections. So for example, work details. I can decide the layout, whether it has to be two column or one column. By two column, I mean these are the two columns. If I selected it as one column, it will just move horizontally, right? Then I can decide the order of this particular widget. I can decide the section visibility, whether it has to be for desktop only or for desktop and mobile both. And I can define what all fields would be visible on in this particular section. I could either add a new field from here, or I could edit out any of the existing fields like title, department. I could define the icon. I could define the order of this particular field, right? Moving on to the third step, that is configuring the profile tabs, right? So apart from the overview, we have certain other tabs configured here like career, work items, benefits. How to do that and how to achieve that? For example, I have the career tab already configured here, right? You could click on this new and create any of the new record, any of the new profile tab that you want. I have this already configured career profile tab here, and I can see what all widgets have been mapped for this particular profile tab. So I have the user skills widget, I have the AGD profile aspirations widget, I have the work experience widget, the learning profile achievement widget, right? And I can define for any of this widget to whom is it accessible for, right? So it is accessible by everyone, or to manager and employee, or to employee only. So I could define that visibility, or I could even allow my employees or end users to control the visibility of this particular information. So once I click on this check button, employees would be able to define if they want to make that piece of information publicly visible on their profile or not. So once the profile tabs have been configured, the other things that we can do as part of this configuration is configuring the action. So there's a table called action groups under Employee Center. Once I click on that, we have a record called employee profile group. I can simply click on this particular employee profile group record, and I can see all the actions configured for my employee profile table, right? So right now I have send email configured, I have view org chart configured, I have connect on Teams configured, and I have call configured. If I want to configure any of the other additional actions, I could do it from this table here. Moving on to the last step for the employee profile, that is setting up the dotted line reporting, right? So let me just dotted line reporting refers to if within your organization you have indirect managers or indirect reporting structure configured, you could do it via the dotted line reporting, right? So like we have seen on the org chart, Beth had an indirect or the other manager configured as well as indirect reports. So we could configure that as an admin. Under the employee profiles, you have a table called other manager relationships. So in this table, you could define any of the dotted line relationships within your organization. For example, in this record, I have configured Gail as other manager or indirect manager for Beth, right? I could define the relationship type as supervisor or shift supervisor, and I can simply update those records. And once I have set these other manager relationships, it will be visible to me on the org chart as indirect reports or other reports and other managers. Um, I'll just pause here and then move on to the org chart configurations. Meanwhile, Pooja, is there anything we want to highlight for employee profile configurations?
No, I don't see any questions coming in. Thank you.
Awesome. For the org chart, one thing I wanted to call out is, like I've already said, previously we had the org chart functionality under our content publishing capability. So with our Santiago release, we have kind of enhanced this experience. And now you would see this organization chart capability under Employee Center. So please be mindful while you're trying to configure the organization chart features. We need to access the organization chart table under Employee Center and not under the content publishing table. So here I can check the eligible users. So if I want to display all the active employees or employees who are still on my payroll, I could define those conditions here. I could define the table. I could define the conditions that makes the employees eligible to display it on the org chart, right? And once I've defined the eligible users, I could configure the user display. So in this particular record or in this particular table, I have already configured a record for the org chart card configurations. And here I can define what my primary display fields could be. So it as of now, I have configured it to be username and title. Just like you see, this is the primary information. Beth and CTO is the primary information, and all of this rest of this is secondary information. So primary information I've configured as username and user title, and all the secondary display fields can be configured from this table here. So as of now, I can configure at max 6 display fields as part of my secondary display fields. I can define what fields I want to pick up to show. I can define their icon, their order, right? And once I'm done with that, I can check the results on my org chart. Now, when we talk about the actions for the org chart, again, it's the same action group table. Under this table, we have a record for org chart. So we have a record called org chart group, and you could basically configure this record for the various actions that you might want to configure, like view profile or connect on Teams or send email or call and so on. So this was it for the admin experience, how to configure the employee profile, how to configure the organization chart, and things like that. Let me just quickly move back to the slide. So let me just summarize what all we have discussed as of now. And unified profile basically aggregates and displays information from different departments and different systems and different tables. So it could consolidate information from user table, from HR table, and it could also display additional information that you might want to display, like of the bio of the user or the pronouns or the nickname for the user, or even the dotted line relationships for the user, and display all that consolidated information for a particular defined employee. Next thing we discussed was unified employee profile can actually help drive personalization for your organization. When we say personalization, we are talking about user-driven personalization. For example, I, as an end user, could personalize my profile to change my background banner or profile image, or change my bio or pronouns. And also system driven personalization, or the machine learning based content recommendation. So it basically displays the recommended content that other users who have similar profile as yours are accessing, right? Again, with the caveat that the ML driven personalization, it comes with predictive intelligence license only. Then the third key takeaway from this whole session is you could make your employee profile actionable, and also use organization chart to display the organizational hierarchies. This is basically to enhance the overall employee experience within your organization, to increase the peer-to-peer collaborations within your organization. Right. That would be all for the session. I'll just pause here. Are there any comments, thoughts, or Q&A that we would like to take up or highlight, Sid, Pooja?
Thanks, Smriti. This was really good. There were a couple of requests to just showcase the profile page once again and take some questions on that. So if you could just share your instance again and go navigate back to the profile page. So someone had the request to showcase the benefits and reward. So if you could open that, just click on it, the benefits and reward tab.
I'll just impersonate Emily.
Okay. And I want to like really bring that point again, like what we are showcasing here is some of it is custom. So benefits reward, like we do have out of box integrations. I think our integration is with Kronos and also Workday to bring in the PTO balance information. The cash and reward and total rewards, we don't need to click on it, Smriti, here right now, but these are all again things that we can bring in with an integration. Let's say you want to bring in from your ADP system. So these are a little bit more custom. But um, like look at the ease from an employee perspective, because you can now just access all this information directly from the system, and you don't have to go into multiple different places. You may want to bring in, like, for security's sake, like, you would see that added in ADP and other systems as well. You can kind of make this hidden first, and as when once the user clicks on it, they can actually view the whole thing. So just wanted to bring that up. And again, we're getting a lot of questions. This whole UI is available with Employee Center. What pieces over here, like the information that is populated within the profile page, depends on your underlying licenses. So the careers tab, if you would go back on the careers tab, requires employee growth and development license, but the other elements that are showcased here don't require employee growth and development license. Um, yeah, the work items tab is again something that is partly populated out of box, but we have some extra custom widgets, like the My Asset widget is custom over here. Can you showcase, like, yeah, so it's actually visible over here. So if you would see under that My Asset, this section is visible to everyone. As a user, I can actually configure those things directly from here to make it visible only to me or only to my manager. So that is the personalization aspect of it. I believe someone was asking about that too. Yeah, so another question, like I'm a manager, and can I configure this page to bring up the number of licenses, like the ITIL consumed by my team that reports to me? Now, that is against a custom widget that your organization can configure. It's not something that a manager can configure for himself or herself, but the organization or the portal admin can actually make that information available either on the manager hub, or if they want to see it as part of the My Teams widget and profile, that is also an option. I would recommend, since the question that you're asking about, like, licenses consumed by my team, it's a very manager centric information. I would recommend putting that on the manager hub. Let me see. Okay. All right. So yeah, so another question around employee growth and development. So the skills that are mentioned as part of employee growth and development, Smriti, if you would click to careers and just navigate to the skill, um, these are different based on these are different from skills that we talk about when we are assigning cases to agents. These are essentially a new capability that is coming as part of our that has been delivered as part of our employee growth and development SKU, where employees can track their own skill as an employee, and these are like, job related skills or role related skills, not necessarily ServiceNow skills. And they can track their career progression, they can set aspirations, so they can, like, look at what additional skills that I'm looking to gain, and build learning around it, like look for job openings around it. So it's a whole different conversation in terms of talent management and employee growth and development, which is made available with our employee growth and development SKU. So I would encourage you to explore that. All right. Smriti, I think we are good with questions. We can kind of go towards the closing, and if there are still any pending questions, we can take it afterwards.
Sure, Pooja. With that, Let me just move back to the slide deck. Yeah. With that, we have covered most of what we wanted to convey for this session from employee profile point of view. I know it might be a lot to take, and if you're still looking for additional help, we have our Employee Center Product Hub community. You could follow us for all the product demos, FAQs, information about other events that we are doing, implementation guide, and more. And these are some of the events that we are doing on regular basis, monthly and quarterly. First is our deployment office hours. So in case you have any employee profile or any of the deployment related questions, this would be a good place to ask. Our next session is on 26 March. We do it every last Tuesday of a month. Then for employee communication related queries like content publishing, campaigns, employee news, and so on. All of these functionalities we take up in our employee communication office hours. That's first Thursday of every month. The next session is on 4th April. I see some of you are already plugged in to both of these office hours, but for those who are hearing it for the first time, it would be a good opportunity to learn from other POs as well. Then for the quarterly events, we have roadmap webinars. We've just did our Q1 2024 roadmap webinar on 12th and 13th March. And for the next quarter, we are yet to announce the dates. You could see the dates and the registration link when we are up with that on the link mentioned here. And then we also do customer show and tell events where we invite some of our customers to kind of walk through their portal and talk about their deployment journey. The last event we've concluded very recently with Best Buy, and we'll be announcing the dates for the upcoming webinar pretty soon. If you still have some questions, you could reach out to us at uexproductevents@servicenow.com. The email ID is right there. And we'll be back again next month in our next Academy session. The topic for next session would be managing portal performance. It's on 17th April. See you there. And thank you so much for joining. Hope this session has been helpful. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.